It begins. Volume 106 SBS. Now there's a preview of the volume cover. The volume cover is pretty clean. One of my recent favorites. Luffy looks like a kid. Nami looks like a kid. Not gonna lie, a bit concerning, especially considering Oda's comments on Bora Hancock and how her powers work. Kidding. Get it? Either way, we're not gonna waste any time here because Oda gives us some stuff about the Admirals. Yes, Fujitora and Rikugyu. He reveals their justice. Not only that, he reveals things about Shanks versus Beckman, Sentomaru's full backstory. He gives us an explanation on Law's awakening, which we didn't need because Brago already covered that, and we nailed it to the T. Shout out to my guy, Dr. Farewell. Would not have been able to do it without him. So without further ado, let's get into One Piece chapter. Oh my God. It's been so long. It's been so long we haven't had a chapter. I can't help myself. I'm at the store. Instead of asking for butter, I'm asking for the One Piece chapter. I'm in Vegas. I'm asking escorts, do they know about the One Piece chapter? It's a sickness. Now, we're going to start with some of the smaller things, and we're going to work our way up to the major things like the Admirals. That's typically how the story works because the Straw Hats, they're still working their way up to the... Let's get to it. So, Sentomaru's past. What is it? Well, this is what Oda says. The Marines received a report saying that wild bears are attacking human villages on a certain island, and Vegapunk accompanied them to set up a system to fight bears. When the Marines were investigating the dangerous mountain, they came across a boy who defeated all the bears with Sumo and Rain as the boss of the mountain, and that was Sentomaru. But first, I gotta shout out the person who compiled all this stuff, and this is on Reddit. I don't hate Reddit, okay? I just don't frequent there because sometimes people stink over there. Anyway, back to Sentomaru. When the Marines were investigating the dangerous mountain, they came across a boy who had defeated all the bears with Sumo and Rain as the boss of the mountain, and that was Sentomaru. He was a boy who was abandoned by villagers due to his violent behaviors when he was younger. Intrigued by the strength of this boy who did not return to the village and is always hungry, Vegapunk hired him as his bodyguard. Wow. Now we understand where Vegapunk and Sentomaru, where they met and their relationship where it started, and how Vegapunk is an opportunist, right? They received the report, Vegapunk accompanied them. I don't know why I keep saying accompanied. Like, where is that accent be from? Accompanied. Is that Boston? Either way, he went with them, and then the boy was really strong, and so he took the boy with him. Yeah, an opportunist 100%. Let's get to the next thing. So this is where Oda talks about Law's K room, right? Or his awakening. What is the K? Is it Kikoku? So Oda says, talking about Law's attack, right? Room is basically the power to create a surgery room and do whatever you want within it. Room is to enclose his knife within the room, and the user can do whatever his heart desires within the room. Literally. So he can stretch the sword or attack by creating a strong shockwave. To summarize, K is the K of knife. Another one of his techniques, R room, is the R of the Ri, departure or distance. It's a room that's away from the creator, so somewhat remote room, like we stated in the video. The video will be linked below if you want to go through the entire thing. We break all this down. So before, Law as the main doctor had to be inside the surgery room, but with the awakening of the Opi Opi no Mi, that's no longer necessary. It's okay to just feel the gist of it. It all sounds too complicated. Again, if it's complicated, you'll see it somewhere right here where we get in depth about Law's awakening, and we nailed it. All right, we nailed it. So this caused some contention because Oda talked about Hancock's meta and the lolly version of it, because there were some people that were concerned because a lot of the Marines, all of them essentially, were petrified by a young boy Hancock. So people were saying, are they petrified because they're attracted to kids, or is it because she's just adorable? Well, Oda had an answer, and I'm gonna break it down a bit further, probably in a short, because the question is, if someone is petrified by lowly Hancock's Meadow, will they be treated as a lolicon afterwards? They won't, right? Please tell me they won't. Lolicon, I believe, are people who are attracted to those lolis in anime, essentially weirdos. But he says her power is taking advantage of people thinking how cute or beautiful, and so they let their guard down emotionally. We all look at little babies and kids and consider them cute, right? And that's enough to get yourself petrified. Even if there's a true lolicon among the ones petrified, one can determine what kind of emotion led them to that state. So don't worry, your lolicon identity has not been revealed. Now be petrified. Okay, we're gonna talk about Sandman's translation in another video. Maybe it'd be a bit shorter than this one, but essentially what Oda is saying is that even if, and again, lolicon here is being substituted because it really means pet in the the West, essentially. Either way, he's saying, even if you are you will not be, your identity is not going to be revealed, so don't worry. But then he says, now be petrified. Here's my breakdown of this. Somewhat tone deaf, right? It's, or I could say stone deaf. Okay, not the time. I understand what Oda's doing here because he says, hey, your identity is not going to be revealed, but he's saying you're going to be petrified, right? So he's saying no matter what, you're petrified, even if you are petrified. And he tried to down them by saying, hey, you're not going to be revealed as a lolicon, but here, be petrified because you deserve that. It just rings a bit hollow because of Oda's affiliation with the author of Rurouni Kenshin. And again, though they're just friends, or they were friends, I'm not gonna just say because your friend's doing something weird means that you're a weirdo, but a lot of people jumped on that. I just think it just, you know, I don't think it's a big deal. Sandman, how he breaks it down and what he says makes it feel a bit more weird. I think this as well, just because of the stench around it, right? It's because of the stench. It's like we're in Punk Hazard, right? And there's just aroma everywhere, or we're in Zoe and Jack already released the gas, right? But then you're still making gas jokes and you're still farting. It just, you know, and again, I don't think Oda's that type. It's just, we know the culture over there, right? And so a lot of people over here are perturbed by it, and I get it. Okay, now the question was, hey Oda Sensei, starting with Rob Lucci, some CP9 members were promoted to CP0, but does that include Jabra, Fukuro, and Kumadori? I was asking that question because, well, in Film Red, we had some useless appearances. Well, the one that was really useless was Khalifa, because it was, what? Why you didn't even do anything. Either way, Oda says, if you watch Film Red, you'll see that Bluno and Khalifa had both appeared at CP0 as CP0 agents. Yes, all former CP9 agents were promoted to CP0. But within CP0, there's a group of people with masks, including Luchi, Kaku, and Stussy, and they're called the Mask Assassins, and they're given more special missions. So, yeah, the entirety of CP9, they're CP0 now. But there are 3 in CP0 who are, they're special, they're the stronger ones. So, man, the Zoro versus Sanji conversation, what is gonna come up here? Even though it has nothing to do with anything, you're like, well, Jabra doesn't have a mask, does he? I don't know. Either way, now we get to Shanks and Ben Beckman. And Oda says, and here was a question. Between Shanks and Ben Beckman, who's more popular with girls? Oda says Shanks is probably more popular, but Ben Beckman flirts more. After all, Beckman loves women. And so there were rumors floating around, well, does that mean Shanks is gay? Yeah, I don't know where it came from. It was in June when this came out, right? This came out in June. Yeah, so at least in the United States, Pride Month, people were just running with things. But Oda just said, after all, Ben Beckman loves women. I mean, they both kind of do, right? Either way, Ben Beckman flirts more than Shanks, but Shanks is more popular with the women. Everyone loves him a good redhead. The next question was, Oda, give us a ranking of who's the best drinker among the Straw Hats. I know it's been said that Zoro and Nami both can drink a lot, but what about the others? And Oda ranked them. He says, 1 is Jinbei. That was surprising. I thought Zoro would be 1. But either way, 1 was Jinbei, 2 was Zoro, 3 was Nami, 4 was Frankie, 5 was Sanji, 6 was Robin, 7 was Brooke, 8 was Usopp, 9 was Luffy, 10 was Chopper. He said the ranking was a little tough to make. Like, to drink and being able to drink is a lot is a whole different matter. Everyone drinks with a different attitude towards it. I do believe Luffy has potential, but you know it's food first for him. Makes sense. Jinbei, I think we underestimate him in everything, right? Just how he is in the gym, drinking as a captain, you know, how he is with humans, his intentions when he released Arlong. You know, we got to give him a pass, man. He's really a good guy and a great character. I love that fish. All right, now, there was a question about balloon-like objects in the G14 base. Listen, the link is going to be below. If you want to check that out, you can. I'm going to make an executive decision here and not talk about that shit because not that interesting. Now, let's go on to Brooke. They draw Brooke. You know, every Straw had gotten, you know, if something went well, their future, and something goes bad. Essentially for Brooke, it doesn't seem like there's any change. I don't. It just looks the same. I don't. Now, the major thing that everyone's been waiting for, the Admirals. Okay, first off, Oda reveals Aramaki's past, which is Greenbull. And he says, Greenbull's past, Aramaki, must have been very sad to have such a tattoo on his chest. Shinagawa Shinju, or the Suicide of the Shinagawa Lovers, is a title of a Rakugo play in which a ruined overage prostitute wishes to commit suicide. Having convinced a young man to leave with her by jumping off a bridge, the man refuses at the last moment, but she pushes him. So before jumping in turn, a messenger brings the prostitute the news that some money has arrived. Delighted, the idea of killing herself suddenly seems ridiculous, and she returns to her activities. So he got swindled by a prostitute? Okay, so he must have had his heart broken by a woman. So that's why he has that tattoo. He did seem like a woman lover. Like he said, if a woman convinced him to eat, he'd probably eat back then and at the reverie. But this is just a whole next level of sad. Either way, Oda reveals the justice of Ryukyugu and Fujitora. Hear this, Aramaki. His justice is deadly or determined justice. Much more deadly than determined, unless it's determining the celestial dragons. Okay, I was gonna say something really weird there. Because of this, some of the things we've covered in this video, we're not gonna go there today. But either way, that's his justice. Next, we have Isho or Fujitora, his justice, which is honorable justice. It doesn't get much better than that. He's just that guy. He's just that guy. Oda does also answer the question about Greenbull, and he said he hadn't eaten in 3 years, and basically confirmed that yes, he doesn't have to eat as long as he's getting nutrients from the ground or whomever, because he has the fruit that can do that. But yeah, that's where we are, boys and girls. That's the end of this amazing compilation of stuff. Oda does it again. He manages to give us some amazing information and completely useless stuff that we enjoy. I mean, I did enjoy the CP0 stuff and getting the information about that. And of course the Admiral stuff. And then the feeling that we got Law's Awakening correcting the explanation video, that feels great as well. So guys, if you enjoyed this, I guess just enjoy it. Do what you want. It's free world. There's another video about Law that's probably coming up that you should check out. That's the Awakening video. If you want to understand it more, go click that. Anything else, that's up to you. Bye.